Like, yeah, well, I just don't understand. Like, why do we keep meeting people like this? Or why did this happen? Not that why, but it's just like, damn, Leslie, like, how did this happen to you? And I'm like, I have no idea. It's like, I'm the nicest person. I'm good to everyone. But it's like, no, there's something I'm missing. There's something I'm missing. And so I think for me, it was really hard to accept the fact that if, I was done wrong, let's say, or something traumatic happened to me from an outsider, how could that possibly be something that was caused, what that was a reflection of me, right? And it was hard for me to grasp that because I thought I was doing everything right. It's like, well, I feel like I'm doing everything right. I'm doing the work, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But those are the lessons that are the toughest to learn, because those are the ones, like the pieces that we're missing to truly transform our outer reality.
I entirely agree. And this kind of stuff is deep work. It's really deep work, and those kind of answers are not the ones that you're going to trip over accidentally. They require a consistent commitment to reviewing yourself objectively and taking off the lenses of ego, which shackle us all at some point or another, and taking into account that we judge other people by their actions and not their intentions, but ourselves by our intentions. It's like getting to that point of pure objectivity where you can look at yourself and reflect on your actions and go, okay, I see now where the work needs to go, and approach it compassionately.
Yes.
It has to start with you. Always start with you, and that's everything. Loving yourself, which I have to say I used to cringe so hard when I heard people talking about loving themselves. I was like, oh my God, how self-indulgent. Who's got time for that? I didn't get it. I really, really didn't get it. And like so many things that sit at the core of personal work, things like let it go. The really simple things, they are simple because they're universal truths, but we mistake them for shallow often. But I think that once you actually get it and you understand what that very simple phrase means, let it go, or looking at yourself and being honest with yourself, like there's a profundity within that activates when it is time for you to understand it. And I do think that that's the point where you start to really feel the wisdom, then feel it moving through you and go, okay, I see.
You see it completely different, and it's almost like the same lessons being learned, where those same words will come to you, and those understandings, and you're like, holy shit, no, now I see it so much deeper. Or maybe I've taught this, or I've been reading about this for so long, and I understood it, but now it's like this deeper knowing.
Now I feel it.
That's the wisdom. And if I didn't suffer, and if I didn't have to come up with these lessons and these manifestations and these like external interferences that are actually internal, how the hell would I have truly understood it? How could my consciousness have evolved then? I would have been still in an illusion. And so that's part of the reality with evolving ourselves out of these shadows, one layer at a time, one shadow at a time, the same shadow coming up, but just in a different way, and it's really quite interesting. It's funny that you had said seeing yourself objectively and then seeing others objectively. And it reminds me like of the question I asked you initially, like, who were you before, and it's an entirely different version. There's a lot of the same root. There's a lot of the same ingredients there, but it's like, it's really seeing yourself as an outsider. See it in such an illusion because she was being fogged up and clouded by somebody else that was projecting what she was internalizing. And it's like these chains and these webs that interconnect. But at the end of the day, like they were all linked up to show you this truth eventually, to help us remember.
Absolutely. And I don't think reality is something that is set I think it changes with your perspective. And I think people would find it very strange to be me for a day, because
I mean, I want to hang out with you for an entire day.
it's sort of fun of me. It's full of me doing all sorts of things, but then yeah, I kind of wander off. I experience reality very, very differently now to how I did 20 years ago. And in the same, if I was to take the mindset that I had 20 years ago, or even say 5 years ago, and apply it to the life that I've got now, I could find in that hypercritical mindset that I used to have a way to find the existence that I have to be right now, to be very trying, to be very challenging, you know, and I could get very maudlin about the fact that it's hard. But equally, if we took my mindset now that I have and go back 20 years with it, there would have been all sorts of beautiful things in there that I missed at that point, because I was always kind of wishing time away. And that's actually one of my biggest regrets now, that was that at the age of 20 and 25, I was just like, it would be better when I get to here, you know, and then kind of driving forwards really, really hard to get there and missing out on just little things, the things that I take really, really seriously now. Even just, you know, sight of a bird in a tree and the way that leaves me, or, you know, literally just being sat with my children, and I don't care if the house is a mess, and I don't care if there's things that need to be done, you know, I'm just sitting there and enjoying their energy and hearing the things that are coming out of their minds, you know, it's amazing.
Simple things.
Very simple things.
More authentic things that just are part of this beautiful blessing that is life and this experience. And that's the truth right there. You know, you'll never be able to experience your mom the same way you did growing up. You know, you never be able to experience all of these things again.